We'll hit some more questions
All
on
right.
Gears here in a second, but I want to talk about Black Ops 3 because we're already at an hour. So, Black Ops 3 trailer came out, and you know what's funny? It's real funny, Colin. I had some people send me some tweets. I want to say Gotham Returns sent me a tweet. A couple of people like, and watch all the Black Ops people or watch all the Call of Duty people be talking all about the movement. Like oh, this is the greatest movement ever. Oh my god. Um, I don't necessarily know if that's going to happen because I thought that would kind of happen with Advanced Warfare. And I think some people really like it and some people really hate it. And so, what's funny to me about Call of Duty now is, I feel like at one point in time when Modern Warfare was released, Modern Warfare 2, every developer was trying to figure out how to be Modern Warfare. And since then, I feel like, at least from a feature standpoint and what you can offer to a game, Titanfall kind of went back to pre console. I'm gonna say arena shooter style, right? With their movement stuff. And Destiny kind of did this homogenous like um, MMO style shooter with abilities and stuff like that. So it's more like an action RPG or Diablo, whatever you want to call it. And Call of Duty, at least from what I've read on Black Ops 3, it seems like it's lost its identity, in my opinion.
I've actually seen quite a few people kind of falling on that side of the tracks. Personally, I've seen lots of people like, "Oh man, I just wish they go back to COD 4." And it's like this movement shit just isn't for me. Like I'm not big on this movement shit. And like they're trying to pad it right now. It's like, oh, it's not Exos though, guys. Like this is something else entirely.
Right.
But like I don't know. I personally was excited for Advanced Warfare and the extra movement options and kind of like the extra dimension that they kind of bring and the quick plays. Uh, After playing it a bit, I couldn't really get hooked. I think part of it's that it's still grounded in being a COD game. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they still like heavily punish all the movement stuff because they want the game to be about ground game. And it sounds like that's also the case with Black Ops 3 from hearing like Drifter give his impressions from 2 or 3
Yeah.
hours of gameplay where he's like, yeah, you can do this, this, and this, but you can't. But most of my combat was on the ground, is what he said. That was his word for word. It was like, yep, you can do wall runs, you can do this jump stuff, this thrust stuff. We're going to talk about some of the movement stuff. Uh, but at the end of the day, most of my combat was ground to ground because it felt best. Like it felt like you had all the options you needed. So like I agree with you entirely. I think that they're losing their identity in the sense that it's be interesting to see if they try and like do a complete reboot back to the past, and if everything feels boring and dull at that point because they're adding so much to the gameplay that they're adding to the gameplay to make it not COD.
Yeah. And
And
this
like
is
once you
their
remove it, I'm
opportunity.
kind of curious like what it feels like at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is their opportunity to kind of reset the. It's only next gen. It's only coming out on Xbox One, PC, and PS4. So this was their opportunity, I think, to do that reset, and they didn't do it. So, at that point, I think they kind of looked at, okay, well, what are people digging in shooters? Got Destiny. As much as people want to hate on Destiny, especially it's really funny. I mean, I did this poll, kind of, it was like a loose poll. I have like a Gears Destiny audience now. And like Gears people in general hate like every other game except Halo for the most part. Uh,
They pretty much hate Halo too, for
yeah, I
the most
mean, the
part.
Gears folks actually hate just about every single game I've
Yeah.
ever seen ever, which is really
Halo sometimes
strange.
gets a pass, but that's it.
Yeah, Halo kind of sometimes gets a pass, but they really hate Destiny, right? As much as they're like, I'll see people all the time like, oh, people are still playing that game. It's like, are you fucking serious? Are you serious? Like, how do people get away with saying that to me? It's just like mind blowing. But clearly, I think Bungie has now it's without unequivocally, without a doubt, has now have they can say they have influence over the development of games. This is the most surprising thing to me about Black Ops 3. I was reading on GameSpot, I believe. I linked Beta Angel, the article. There are classes in the game that have abilities. And I shit you not, there are two abilities that are mirrored, exact mirrors of the Titan Smash or Halo Ground Pound and the Golden Gun. There is literally a woman, and it said this in the article, who has a special ability. The meter is the same, the way it activates, it's a full meter, it doesn't reset on death. It gets bumped up by completing objectives and getting kill streaks. And this Chinese cartel woman, when she activates her special,
They
it
added that
is a
detail.
one-shot pistol. It is a one-shot pistol. I was just like, what? Wait, what? Did I read that right? There's no way. So that's when I was like, what is Call of Duty becoming? Are they just trying to keep as much mind share and control of the market as they can? So they're like, those guys like this game. There was definitely some people and some hype around this game. Oh, and we still got our game. Let's put this all in a big pot and see what we come out with, and then let's roll with that. I have a really hard time like understanding how they could literally be like, we're gonna have a golden gun in our game. I, Colin, I shit you not. I read that and I was like, seriously? Like what? And then I was just like, I honestly can't believe that I just read that. I honestly can't believe I just read that. So for me, I feel like that alone for me is like they have lost their identity as a not as a brand necessarily, but like as a what they want the game to be. What do you want Call of Duty to be? What is it about? Is it about military, like this Twitch military action shooter, or is it like turning into this sci-fi, again, homogenous conglomerate of every shooter that's ever been popular to keep mind share?
I hate using the term sci-fi for it personally because they don't really do anything with the core gameplay. Like it's strictly been the movement stuff for the most part. A little bit on the gadgetry, like for the equipment and stuff. But for the most part, it's still like at its core, it's the same types of weapons and gunplay. They just keep adding around it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they haven't really touched the progression system, for
They
example.
haven't.
Like the progression system is extremely COD. Like that is COD's niche. That is what a lot of people credit with why COD was successful is the progression system
Yep.
and like the constant carrot dangling in front of the player, which keeps them playing all the way through until they hit Prestige 10 and they're hooked, right? So like that has never changed. That to me that's COD's identity is the progression crap, which I personally don't like. Like to me that's it. So like that still hasn't changed. The guns themselves haven't changed. It's been the same guns every single freaking game, plus or minus one or two. Like and usually the ones that are added aren't the best weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Like usually they intentionally make them a bit worse, so like they're kind of niche weapons. While you still have the same assault rifle doing the same assault rifle damage, same kill times for the most part. So like to me, like that core gameplay is there. Uh, but like when they keep littering stuff on, I feel like they risk alienating their existing audience, which I think is what you're starting to see a little bit. But that said, their audience has been slowly dwindling away for the past while,
Right.
as people have just like stopped playing COD games. So to me, it's interesting. I wonder if the reason that they're adding some Destiny elements, the reason they're adding some Titanfall elements, is to take some of the edge off of their competitors. I personally think that I don't know if it's conscious. I don't know if it's like a conscious decision and that that's what they were trying to do. But you have to admit that COD having a bit of wall running components may impact Titanfall when they finally get around to Titanfall 2, where it's like, yeah, COD did this. I felt like COD did it better personally. Like, why would I play Titanfall when I can do this in COD right
Right.
now?
Exactly.
Like, why would
Exactly.
I play Destiny? Like, oh yeah, they're already doing that in COD. Like, I play COD a lot, so like, why would I? It's not like you're trying a new experience when you go to Titanfall. You're playing a different experience to COD, which is something that COD or Titanfall got knocked for as is being a different experience to COD, not like a whole new experience.
Right.
Which I personally think is a bit wrong, personally,
Yep.
just because
Yep.
the movement's completely different.
Yep.
But like at the end of the day, I feel like that hurts Destiny and Titanfall that COD picked up some of those elements. Will it be a huge pain? I don't know, but I feel like it definitely doesn't help those games when COD kind of encroaches on their territory a little bit. Uh, and I think that's again, I don't know if it's conscious what they're doing, or if they're just like, hey, this is kind of cool from Titanfall, and they grabbed it from that. Like, hey, we kind of like wall running. Let's grab some wall running stuff. Kind of like these powers, these supers from Destiny. Like, let's grab some of the super stuff. Uh, but at the end of the day, I think it actually benefits COD to take it. Although, like I said before, they risk alienating a bunch of people as a result.
That's true. It's true.
Especially when people are opinionated as shit. So like they'll be like, wall running? You added wall running
Right, right.
from Titanfall? Titanfall was awful. Why would you add wall running? COD is just fucked, man. COD is done. COD's done. Rip COD. I'm gonna go play some Modern Warfare 4. Let's go. Let's go. All migrate over to Modern Warfare 4. You know that people say that shit. I guarantee you. I haven't looked at like the Twitter. I haven't looked at the Twitter or the internets.
Well,
But
no,
I know people are saying that shit. I know. I already know. Not just some people. A bunch of people are probably saying that shit. Same thing with Destiny. Like supers. Supers are the worst thing about Destiny. Destiny is awful. Supers. You added Golden Gun? Great. I want to get shot. One hit kill. Sweet. Oh yeah. Just go and make it like Destiny. Way to go, Treyarch. This is why Infinity Ward should have kept making. Like they'll bring the studio into it. They'll bring Vondahar into it. They'll be like, of course Vondahar did this.
right.
He's a Destiny fanboy. Doesn't even like COD. Like, people are fucking ridiculous. And, like, they're opening themselves to that by doing it. But I still think it's a smart move. The game may be better in the end for it. Personally, I think I'll probably enjoy it more. I'll probably enjoy this COD more than I enjoy previous CODs. Just looking at the moveset. Although, and we'll talk, I don't know if we'll talk about it all, but the shooter lineup for this fall, stacked. So I probably won't play COD at all. But if I were to play this one, I think I'd enjoy it because it grabs some of the Titanfall stuff, which I like.
So that's a big thing. Like here's all the gameplay mechanics, right? There's classes with abilities. I mentioned a couple of them. There's 3 I think that were listed on the GameSpot article. Mid-air directional changes in movement using this thrust system, which is based on energy. You can do boost and thrust jumps, and I think the longer you hold the jump, the longer it extends the actual thrust.
I'm surprised they didn't use it as like it's basically like a shoe jetpack. It's
exactly what it is.
Because they said if you hold it, you go higher, or you can tap it and do like little mini bursts.
Yep.
But you can have some left-right movement, right? So it's like a little. It's shoe jetpacks.
I don't know why they're calling it a thrust pack, but yes, there's thrust pack. The wall running elements are supposed to be more strict than Titanfall. I heard multiple people say that. I think Drifter says it on his video.
So it uses the same energy component.
Yep, uses the same energy component. You're supposed to go much shorter distances than in Titanfall. However, it is still based on momentum if you want to chain them together. And the map design is not supposed to be wall runny like Titanfall. I imagine it's like very condensed areas, very specific corridors that offer that type of experience.
Drifter said 2 or 3 areas of the map were like good wall run areas.
So we'll see how it is. And he said you have to line up very specific. Like if you want a wall run, it's like it's not natural, right? Like you have to be devoted to doing that and committed.
I also read from a different source that they said that all their maps are pretty much 3 lanes. So like, it's just straight up like the maps that have worked well competitively in the past have been either 2 or 3 lanes where it's just boom, 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 and then there's some kind of crosses between them. Right. And they said that most of the maps, if not all of them, will kind of follow that formula because they found that's what works.
Okay.
So it's pretty interesting just from a, like, cool, I think they're finally getting it, you know, where...
3-lane design.
Traditionally, like, any game, you kind of just throw out 2 or 3 maps immediately for competitive play. Mm-hmm. Just based on, like, I could look at a top-down for a lot of games and be like, that won't work.
Yep.
Just keep going through the list, and it's like, okay, now we have a pool of potentials, and then you kind of go from there. But they're kind of really approaching like, hey, like this is what people like, so we're just gonna make a ton of these. Variety be damned.
It's supposed to be. Oh well, I saw in the video. This is probably in single player, but they show mechanized robots. So those giant robots in there, and I don't know if those are actually things you can get into in multiplayer. But there were huge robots.
They look like Spectres from Titanfall.
Titanfall.
They look exactly like Spectres.
So I'm just gonna keep going.
They'll probably be playable with a kill streak.
You can do power slide last.
And while you run around, you'll hear cling, clang, cling, clang, because that was one of the coolest shit in Titanfall was running around as a Spectre. So of course they would take that. Go on. Go on.
You can power slide. and it lasts as long as you hold the button. What I caught, again, this is from Drifter's information, said you could change direction mid-slide. So you could be sliding one way and then all of a sudden change direction and slide, left or right or behind you or whatever. However, you cannot shoot when you do this, which I thought was pretty interesting, because I thought that you could actually shoot while sliding. But
You should be able to shoot. I think for the cool factor, you should be able to shoot.
I don't know what happens to your arms when you start sliding. Like,
I don't know.
what are they going to do with it? Are you going to be holding your gun like this?
You're just doing this the whole time.
I don't know what's going to happen right there, but for whatever you
Your
can't
ass is
shoot,
dragging on the floor.
he also mentioned a mantle mechanic. So if you're running around, you see a ledge, I guess it automatically mantles. And then again, all of this movement stuff is based on their energy meter. So, kind of just from listing off some of that stuff, I guess the biggest things that kind of stand out to me where I just go, what is Call of Duty becoming? The classes with the abilities, you got the mid-air directional changes in movement, the boost and thrust jumps, the wall running. Obviously, Titanfall seems like it has been a pretty big influence, and then the other one, obviously, like I said, was Destiny with those abilities. So I am, despite us, kind of giving them some shit about taking some of these gameplay mechanics, like Colin. Once you start introducing things that are very Titanfall-ish into the game, like, it automatically makes me want to play it.
Because
The downside, exactly. The downside, again, what Colin mentioned, is that this year is so stacked with shooters. I can tell you this. All right, our team is planning on playing Overwatch, and it's supposed to go into beta in the fall. But the only other game that I am really focused on, I'm gonna play some Halo 5 for sure. I'm gonna play probably some Black Ops 3. But as soon as Star Wars Battlefront comes out, if it's good, lights out for console game. Like, I'm not playing another console game. Like, it's Battlefront.
Yeah, and you have to realize, like, this is back to back to back weeks, pretty much.
Yes.
Halo 5, COD, Battlefront. And somewhere in there, I'm hoping that I get an Overwatch invite. So, like, all 4 of those, plus maybe the Division comes out this year. We'll see. All of that is just ridiculous for FPS guys. So, like, the mind share is not going to be all in one basket,
Yeah. Oh, there's one other thing I gotta mention, because they didn't have it before we get off of Black Ops. They didn't have it in Advanced Warfare. No bumper jumper. How do you not have bumper jumper in Advanced Warfare? If they don't have bumper jumper in Black Ops 3, I will riot. I'm calling all of the Frosty Brethren.
Oh, don't worry. It's going to be all the same settings from Titanfall. It's going to be just straight up. There's going to be all the controller settings from Titanfall. With the same names. They even have the one called, they had the one that was a jab at COD. I can't remember what it was.
Fish sticks.
Was it fish sticks?
That's
Halo.
The Halo.
That's Halo has fish sticks. They had one in Titanfall 2, if I remember right, though. So like they'll just transfer them all straight over. And yeah, Rainbow Six Siege, I'll probably play for a little while. So yeah, stacked. And plus, we don't know what's going to be announced at E3. Maybe we'll spend some stealth shit that's going to come out this year. Like, stacked.
I just want to know how you guys are going to pay for all these games. I'm saving up. I'm saving right now. There's nothing to buy right now. We got Splatoon, and maybe Batman. I got Witcher 3. I got 3 games in the next 6 months. And I'm not buying anything.
Got six months to plan a heist.
Yo,
just gotta plan a heist.
Didn't we mention this though? Like, one of those episodes, like, this year is gonna be crazy for games.
Stacked.
Guys, Battlefront. If you like this video, you should probably click on the one down below. That'll take you to another video. You may like it. A little bit about me. I'm a former pro player. I play PC and console, mostly shooters. I also have a gaming podcast. I do tips and tactics, live gameplays. Check out my Twitch. Also, I work in the industry. Why are you not subscribed?